That is awesome. That is awesome. Did you go to a special restaurant at all?
No, no, no. We didn't know what we wanted to eat. And I mean, that's an everyday thing. So we ended up at the Cheesecake Factory just because of the cheesecake.
We have something in common. We
Yes.
ended up going to the Cheesecake Factory as well.
Oh wow.
We went to the one in Tyson's.
We went to the one right around here in Dallas.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So is a Dulles closer for you?
Oh yes, yes.
Okay. Very good. And
Yes.
hopefully you had a good time on Friday.
We
No,
did,
Thursday.
and
Thursday.
we did, and I learned something from Beth. So now I'm keeping a pair of flats in my car, which I used to have, Fred, because like sometimes we were in heels and then it was showing houses. Then that doesn't work for the deck, and then usually I used to change my shoes, but all of a sudden I just took it out and never went back in the car.
Oh my goodness. It's
Yes.
okay. That's fine. Good
Where is
morning.
everybody?
Say, good morning, Jasmine.
Hi, good morning.
It's good to see you here today. Of course, we saw one another Thursday.
Yes, that was a really good turnout. It sure was. Yeah, we had
Yes,
fun.
yes. And I think everyone that came enjoyed themselves,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome. Okay. All right. And today we start, well, because we return to a full 5 day week, no days off, no special days. So we can have a great week of going after our prospecting. Okay. We will wait just a minute or so more because I want to be respectful with everyone's time. And we have a lot of information as always to go over. Um, and this week's lesson is no more different from other ones. Okay. Oh, question. Is anyone besides me following World Cup? Yes, no?
That
I've
would
been
be a no.
watching it, but no, I'm not really like watching it. No,
Oh, yeah.
not following it. But it's interesting when it comes on.
Yes, yeah, we have been ever since my son when he was younger, learning how to play soccer. Now I'm familiar with the game of soccer, and I'm becoming more familiar with the teams and players and how the game is played. So it's a little more exciting, and I'm excited to see the USA, winning the first two games, everything. So I think as we get to the what they call the knockout round, then I think it's going to be even more exciting. Let's see. Clivia, are you following soccer, the
I
World Cup?
do, I do. My baby son work plays soccer all the way up to college. So I well, even learning geography because I don't know if you saw the game with Costa Verde, Cape Verde.
Well, did they win or did they tie?
They tied it 2-2,
Yes.
but I mean, I didn't even know that that place existed. So I have to look it up and learn so much from it. Like they speak Portuguese.
I didn't know they speak Portuguese.
Yes, they just got their independence from Portugal in 1975, so fairly recent.
Wow.
And
Yeah, because
that's the reason that they speak Portuguese, even though they are in Africa.
I did not know that. Yeah, yeah. I'm rooting for them as we say this is the Cinderella team because we always try to find the underdog and you can't
Yes.
find a bigger underdog than Cape Verde, tying the first two games, and then I think if they win the next one, then they're going to be able to go to the knockout round, and of course the country's just going to go ecstatic to see their little country being able to compete on a world stage against much larger, more established countries. That is
Yes.
wonderful.
But that is also a tourist destination. If you look it up, it's a beautiful island.
Wow. Okay, I learned something. Let's see.
Yes.
Chanel, are you following World Cup?
No, I am not following the World Cup, but I see all the paraphernalia and somebody's getting rich.
Now that surprised me. Someone that goes to Churchill Downs doesn't follow World Cup. Oh my goodness.
Because I'm not one to sit in front of TV and just watch TV. I don't. I mean, like I have not watched TV in like months. I don't watch TV. I just don't.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. This game. Yeah. We are definitely watching. It is exciting. Okay.
No, this is supposed to go on for
A couple more weeks.
yeah a couple more weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
might watch the finals when it gets down to the wire.
The finals. Yeah. This is good. Okay, so even though there might be just the three of you on the call, well, four to include Harry. Hi, Harry. We're just gonna move forward because, as I said, there's a number of items that I wanted to go over this morning that hopefully you will find beneficial for your business as well as for you on an individual basis. Um, let's start with a quick review. Last week we had Crystal Davis that came and spoke with us. She's from Deb Dorul and Associates, and she's their in-house sales account manager
Agent.
agent. Excuse me.
She's their ISA.
I For some reason I keep forgetting the A is agent, in-house sales agent. And so she's responsible for a lot of the training for the realtors within this brokerage. And she provided a lot of helpful tips and comments. And of course, depending upon what we come up with today, we might have her to come back. She is definitely interested in sharing her knowledge with us. And so I thought that was wonderful. Did anyone have any comments or anything else you wanted to add from what she spoke about last week? Because her whole topic was all about communicating effectively with their clients and to make connection. That is the one thing that she delved a lot in terms of the whole process, especially through her company. And she provided the timeline of how to build connection with individuals. And for their prospecting, they purchase leads, and a good majority of them are through Zillow, which I found quite amazing. But that's what they focus on. And then the other item that they focus on is meeting with the borrower in person. So they're real big on appointments, scheduling appointments, and that's really the topic for today's lesson is in-person prospecting. So that's one of the things that they strive to do as much as possible. Any other comments or anything else you may want to add regarding to what Crystal spoke about last week?
So is my mic
So
on? Oh, okay.
yes.
I didn't know if I was still on mute. So I think that what Crystal spoke on last week was really, really good. But um just speaking for myself and some of the other agents, I think, those teams, they have the resources to pay the $1 billion that Zillow wants for leads. So maybe getting more into what agents who don't have these $1 billion budgets can do, because that's going to be more helpful.
Well, maybe you might like what we're going to present today.
You think? Okay. I'm so excited. More than soccer.
That is wonderful. Okay. Um, for today's session, there's going to be three items. I want to go over what's in the book. Then I have a handout. Then I have a PowerPoint presentation at the end that I wanted to go over because I want to continue um, with the theme, of course, with 23 weeks to greatness with prospecting, but also to finish strong and consistency. Finish strong and consistency. We have 6 weeks remaining, and I want to try to narrow it down even more each week to go more in depth from a realtor perspective. Try to understand exactly with where you're at, what your needs are, and then seeing if I can't bring in additional resources to help you. And that's it. Just narrow it down, bring in more resources and information to help you to be more productive with your business. And I'll be the first one to admit it's not easy. It is not easy. But what I'm enjoying the most about each session is what I am sharing information with you on as realtors. I have to turn it around and change it from a loan officer's perspective as well. So that has been helping me out tremendously. So good. I want to say thank you, Lester. Glad you're able to join us. All right. So now
Glad to
this
be
is
here.
my
Glad to be
question.
here.
This is more of a general. I know when we first started this, some people have said that they feel in-person prospecting is easier compared to telephone prospecting. Um, I'll start with Jasmine. Jasmine, do you think for you is that true, or do you feel more comfortable over the phone, or in person is better for you with prospecting?
I mean, you want to always get somebody in person, but um, sometimes, well, majority of the time, what has worked is my clients will like be at work, so texting and like if I call them, like they won't even answer, but texting has worked better. And I'll be like, hey, let's go somewhere. Let's meet. They just like, I don't have enough time, but they are better communicators when it comes to texting for some reason.
All right. Speaking on that, if you're trying to meet with someone, and if they're say they're busy or whatever reason, and if you say, well, if we can't meet in person, what happens if we have a virtual meeting using Zoom? Will you get a stronger likelihood of them agreeing to Zoom compared to, let's say, going out and somewhere and having coffee?
That's worked in the past, but I feel like I had to like they won't even log on and I'll be like, hey, don't forget we have our call. And they're like, oh yeah, that's right. So I don't know if I'm just not sending the reminders like I should be, but a lot of the times it's it's like probably 30 minutes later and I'm like, I have something to do myself. So it's like rushed. And we
Yeah.
were supposed to have that scheduled time. Yeah.
Well, what I have found, and I do this about every single one of my appointments now. I'm about 98 to 99%. I try to follow up with a text reminder, even if it's on the same day or in the morning, definitely the night beforehand as a reminder. Just confirming we're on. Yeah, I do it about 98 to 100% of the time. And even for this meeting here, I should have did one on yesterday, but I did one this morning as well. I always send out a reminder because
Well, it worked for me because that's the reason why I'm on. The text message worked for me. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So it works.
we're all going from one place to another.
Right, right.
Things we have appointments with others. So yeah, it's just a reminder. Yeah. By doctors, every single one of my doctor's appointments, but I guess they got tired of people not showing up. 100% of them, it's automated, but they do a reminder at least one, sometimes even two reminders that this is when your appointment is. So there is no excuse for you not to attend an appointment. So yeah,
Right, right. Yeah, the email and the text. Yeah.
yeah, do them both. Okay, all right. So let's talk about in-person prospecting. Um, how many of you do? This is me just asking a general question. How many of you do any in-person prospecting where you're just going to go somewhere that you don't know anybody at all and try to just prospect? Or do you know of any businesses that you should try to do an in-person prospecting attempt? Anybody?
I think that's kind of, I mean, I do a lot of different things, just like, we did the festival this past weekend where you're just meeting people out random,
Mhm.
talking to them to see how you may be able to assist them in any way with, real estate needs or questions like that. Or if I'm just at a Starbucks or wherever I can engage people in conversation.
Okay. Okay. That is good. For those of you that didn't know, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, we participated in a Juneteenth event on Friday, and we had our little tent up at the Prince William County complex. And our tent was there. We had the sign up, and a lot of people just walking by and just looking like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And so I decided to do something different. So as they was walking by, I sort of started hawking at them. I was like, I was just being me and just seeing what would happen. And believe it or not, it worked. I asked them. Um, I went under the presumption that, and this was my question. How many of you own 5 homes or would like to own 5 homes? And they would just look at me and smile because that was something that they never anticipated. And then I was able to have them to come on over here. I said, "Come, I'll share with you how to own 5 homes." Never even got the opportunity to share how to own 5 homes because they all started talking about their initial home, or whether or not they have ever owned a home or whatever. We never even got to that point. However, we were able to identify at least 3 people in the short time that I was doing it that I have to follow up with. One individual is relocating to Katy, Texas. So I'm going to follow up with this person. I'm going to find him an agent that works outside of Houston and Katy and refer him that realtor. Then we had one person that was interested in marketing that Chanel, I think, is going to follow up with. Then we met another young gentleman that's in the process of taking his real estate exam. And then and that was what person was going to follow up with Chanel. Then I met another person who was part of the DMV Boat Association, and he's interested in wanting to understand what it's going to take to own one investment property. And the reason why I bring this up, as Chanel said, it was all about just prospecting. This was truly in-person prospecting with me just calling people's attention and just asking a general question and just to see what would happen. and it worked. So instead of us just waiting for people to come talk to us, we started being more not aggressive, but we were actually promoting ourselves and informing people what is the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, and having some meaningful conversations. Chanel, is there anything that you would want to add?
Well, I just want to add that Fred was like on Showtime, okay? Because with him and I tag teaming people and him being able to jump in with a comment or me jump in with a comment, it just made the process a lot more flexible and easier. And I think people don't feel a whole lot pressure. You know what I mean? Just like, because as we all know, most people either are afraid to talk about real estate, don't want to talk about real estate, or it's just kind of like a touchy subject. Unless you're really, really planning to move or you're really, really wanting to buy, most people don't want to discuss real estate. So you have to find other ways to reach them to engage the conversation. Because at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is get a name, a number, and
Yeah,
someone that we can follow up with, put in our database, or maybe at some point help them or someone they know with real estate.
yeah. And all I did was simple. I'm thinking about now. I asked a ridiculous question. How many of you um own 5 homes? And if you don't own 5 homes, why not? That was my question. And they would just smile and laugh, and that's how we were able to engage. That was my question. And you should see the responses, and everybody would just laugh. We had a couple people saying dumb, but for the most part, they just, because no one was expecting them. Why don't you own 5 homes? And a couple of persons said, "Well, I do own 5 homes." And so it was just an unexpected question that people were not anticipating, and we were able to engage. And that's no more different from any type of prospecting, just asking a question and just to see what happens. Now, the author in this chapter, he sort of narrowed down. He has one intent, or what is the goal of in-person prospecting. And the in-person prospecting that we're going to concentrate mostly on is, um, if you go and you talk to somebody that you don't know, you go to a business that you don't know, you're actually going in person, and you really may not know that much about that person. So if you're going in person and trying to prospect, what is the number one objective of this type of prospecting attempt? There is one objective, and that's what Chanel and I did. We had one objective. Any idea, anybody, what was the objective that we just mentioned and that the author agreed to as well? For in-person prospecting, the number one objective is what? Get information. That's it. In-person prospecting, the number one objective is getting information. And through my ridiculous question that I asked, I was able to get information from a number of people that gave me the information through this question. They probably would not normally have provided, but I just asked a question. It was something that they weren't anticipating, and I asked a number of follow-up questions, and then that's how we were able to get people to actually to leave their name, phone number, and email address. Yeah,
Can
they
I
have
can I
all the
just add
information.
something to that?
Yes.
Not only is the number one objective to get information, but it's to give information. So when you're going to be doing prospecting, you have to know exactly what information you're going to be sharing with people. So you already have to kind of have it in your head, some of the information that you want to tell them because you want to give them, facts about things, or even if they talk about their area, or you just have to be prepared to give them valuable information, so that way they'll look at you as a subject matter expert and really want to connect with you, because if you don't know how to answer their questions or keep dangling the carrot, so to speak, to keep the conversation going, it will abruptly end. Just will
Yeah,
end.
yeah. And one of the gentlemen there, he was young. He was in his early 20s, I believe. He was just walking through, and I asked that question. He was so engaged with what Chanel and I were talking. He came, sat at a chair at our table, and Chanel and I, we just imparted all this information on him about real estate. And he stayed for about 15 minutes, just pulled up a chair and just sat there and watched. I mean, and just listened.
I think it
Yeah.
was longer than that. I think he was there almost 30 minutes. I was like, Fred got another son.
He sat there and he was just so enthralled. He was just like asking questions, and we was giving information. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was wonderful. That was one of the appointments that I will remember the most, because he was not expecting us and for us to share information. We just gave him everything, and he was just so surprised. Here we are giving all this information, no fee. He didn't know us, and we were just sharing all of our advice and our experiences just to help him out. That's what we did. And we was telling him, you're part of our village. So we're going to give you all of this information to help you. And he was so appreciative. Okay. All right. So let me ask this question. This is fun. Have any of you ever attempted to do in-person prospecting with individuals, businesses, whatever, that you don't know of? You see, I'm just going to go up there and just tell them that I am Benny. I am a phenomenal realtor, and you need to work with me. Anybody tried doing something like that at all?
You have me laughing when you said, you need to work with me. That sounded like me.
Yes, absolutely.
I uh, I have still in mind what you did with the movie theater.
Okay.
So I do have an event coming up in October. It's a big event, and I'm contemplating my return of investment on going there. So listening to you and Chanel about that table, because I will have a tent, 10 by 10, just for me. So
Okay.
I'm like, every single day. This is in October, but I'm brainstorming what value I'm bringing to the people to have them come to me. So thinking of contests, thinking of what we do in Inspire when you have all these tables, but we are realtors, so we know we go to the event to get value from other vendors. But this place is not a realtor event.
Okay.
So I am working on that myself. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this spinning wheel, and I'm gonna have like somebody, but the whole thing is gathering information.
Absolutely. Okay.
So this is how I want no, like, even when I do open houses, I have the people sign in on my phone, so it goes straight to my CRM. But sometimes the information that they put in is not real.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to get that. But Clivia, I'm going to give you an example. Um, this weekend was Juneteenth weekend around Northern Virginia. So I went to an event on Friday, a Juneteenth event, Prince William County. Then I had a good friend of mine. She went and had a tent very similar to what we had in Prince William County in Loudoun County. They had their Juneteenth event on a Saturday. She is she has a doctorate of nursing, so her whole business is mental awareness. So here she is at a tent at a Juneteenth event, wanting to talk about mental awareness. That is tough. Correct? Would you not think that you're talking in an event like that to try to talk to people that are just passing by? So when she was there, she was just sitting there at her table, a tent, had no sign, hardly anything up, and people would just come and walk by, and she was a little intimidated by wanting to talk to people, and people would just walk by and she really wouldn't say much. So me being me, her name is Tanya. I said, all right, Tanya, enough is enough. So I walked under her tent. And so me, I did exactly the same thing that I did on that Thursday. Don't laugh. I did it and it worked. So when people were walking by, I said, excuse me. Do you know anyone in your family that needs information on mental awareness? Just like that. I know these people. And they just stopped and everyone just smiled. And then the comments was some person said, yeah, it was me. Or I said, yes, I know somebody. I said, oh yeah, I'm gonna bring somebody here to come and talk to you. But the response that was received by just being a little bold and asking a different question that nobody was anticipating, it we were able to engage. So Clivia, at the event that you're having, you have to be a little creative and me a little crazy, just asking questions that they may not be anticipating and then watch their response. And it was just asking a question because I was like, there was no way you can just sit here for hours on hours at a table and people just walk by and you don't say anything at all. So I says, no, we're gonna sit there and just ask a question. And it was just part of the reason it was funny because no one was expecting to come to a Juneteenth event and have someone to talk about mental awareness. And I said, this is Dr. Tanya Walston. She's here. All she wants to do is give out information to help you or family members with their mental awareness. That was it. And it worked.
I would
How
have
does that
thought that
sound?
would I would have thought that would have been something that was ideal because the world and people are struggling with mental health these days so much that um going to an event like that, I would have been offering people to sign up for a 15-minute consultation for free. And then that way you get all their information, you reach out to them because a lot of people sometimes don't want to admit it in front of other people that they're struggling.
Absolutely. But Chanel, everything you said is right on point. I agree with you 100%. The difference is, and she's a doctor, for her to take that approach instead of she thought that people would just come
No.
and just ask her, like realtors. Here we are. I'm Lester. I got my sign up. I'm a realtor, and I want people to come talk to me because I'm a realtor. I'm this fabulous guy. I have a lot of experience, and I want people to come talk to me.
Well,
Absolutely
we
not. It just does that. We're going to have to be out there and just talk to people. If you might say the worst thing, you might stutter or do whatever. Yeah, you might not be perfect at it, but of course, with consistency, the more you do, the better you will become at it. Yeah, my first couple of times it fell flat. I ain't good, but over time, it's okay. That didn't work, so let's try something else. And that's all what in person prospecting is, to go ahead and try something different. Because in both cases, all I was really doing was just trying to get information. I asked a question and I wanted the question to elicit a response. And then from those responses, then we got the RBOs, the reflex responses, the brush offs, and the objections. That's when we get all of those, and then we can answer those and be able to get what? Information, their contact information, so we could follow up. That was it.
Also, Fred, can I say something real quick, Fred?
Yes,
Also, I feel like for me, I've just used my experience. I've done stuff like that 4 or 5 years ago, And I was like, man, I'm not getting no results. So I feel like if you're hungry enough and you're like, I came out here to do something and I really need some business, you're going to do it. You're going to do
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like a difference between the people who, maybe scared to do it, but you got to put yourself out there. You have to.
That's it. Yeah, but and you can't go out there with a tent thinking that, oh, I'm as good looking as Jasmine. Oh my Lord, I just want to stand by her because she looks so fine. No, you're gonna have to go out there and put yourself out there. And a lot of times when we put ourselves out there, what we are having to work against internally is that ugly word called fear. Yeah, we all have it. We have that fear and rejection. Yeah. Did we get rejected a couple times? Absolutely. But other times, people just, we are in a sales environment, and we have to do things where fear is going to be front and center, and where we may be rejected. It's okay. It is okay. Now, Benny, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Benny, is this something that you could do? Are you here, Benny? I see. Uh, I see me a stepped away. Okay. Um. Okay. So, um, on page 208, this is he has this diagram that I thought was very good. That talks about the 5-step in-person prospecting call process. 5-step in-person prospecting call process. The first thing that he was recommended is, before we even go out on some of our in-person prospecting attempts, is to do some research, find out who those individuals are, and try and determine who is the key decision maker. So we have more information in terms of what ultimately is going to be our objective. Always be personal with how we approach people. And of course, the objective is always to get information. Who the decision maker is, when will the decision be made, and if we can get an email um, or a um, phone number, that would be good. Now, let me stop here, since you're all realtors, and I don't quite know the answer to this question, but I don't know. All of you have done an open house. What can be done to minimize an individual from giving a bogus name, email, or a phone number? Or is it just, part of this type of business where that is going to happen? Anybody?
Well, some CRMs won't let you put in a bogus phone number if it's not a real number.
Okay.
And I don't, I mean, in some email addresses too, because they'll bounce back or whatever. But at the end of the day, depending on how you're getting the information, if you're just doing a regular sign up sheet, then you may get false information. But also, the one of the big issues is sometimes people don't write legible, so you have to make sure that you can read what they're writing.
Correct. And I've been in some where people just have an iPad and you type it in, so that eliminates poor penmanship, which is a
Yes,
It does,
but
but I don't want everyone touching my iPad. I'm gonna be honest with
uh,
you.
I gave them my cell phone, so I really, it doesn't bother me. But it's kind of difficult to prevent that, Fred,
okay.
because they can write a fake number. So it happened to me. Like I did an open house both days this weekend, and I have most of the numbers were legit, but there were like two that was not. So how can we prevent that? And this is one of the things that I'm trying to prevent on the event that is coming, like trying to offer them something to value, maybe like a gift card. So if they give me a wrong information, they won't be able to get notified because I'm trying to notify them either through the phone or through an email before the event ends.
You
Okay.
know what has helped me? Because I don't get a lot of bogus ones anymore. I used to, but now I tell them that I'm gonna let you know what the sales price is once it closes. And if there's anything, surrounding, around here that you want to purchase, I'll let you know that too. So I just let them know that, and I don't see a whole lot of bogus ones anymore. Um, and then if you feel like you need to, you can always forewarn them.
Okay.
We have that app.
Oh, that's very good. That is a great one. Okay, that is a great response. That's one thing. So yeah, so that is a great way to retrieve correct information to say, when this house is sold, I'm gonna let you know what is the uh sales price, and then you can follow up and say, is this information that you would want to receive? And if they say yes, then you send it to them, and then you have them in your database. And if they say no, then it is what it is. But if they say yes, then you have the information, because this way you are eliciting a response. That was a good one, Jasmine. I like that, because now for me, I'm thinking about it. I'm on this roll, because this is just my personality. I'm saying to myself, yeah, if I was in an open house and people were coming in and walking by, and when they were coming in, and I'm like, come on in, welcome. And then I would ask them, have you identified your dream house yet? And if they say yes or no, they say, well, why haven't you? What is it that you're looking for? And then just ask them, what is your dream house? Because coming in, to me, that's a question they're not expecting. They're expecting someone to say, "Hi, I'm Kim Wright. I'm here at this open house. This house has 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's on a quarter of an acre. It's listed for $325,000. Blah blah blah." That's what they're expecting. But if you ask something different, have you identified or have you seen your dream house yet? Then you were like, what? Then you can ask, well, what is it? What is it that you're still looking for? Why haven't you found your dream house yet? And then they'll tell you. Then you can find out if they're working with an agent, if they're not, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because the whole key is to gather information. That is the key, to gather information. Um, Now we got 17 minutes. Okay, I'm excited as always. Um, um, was there any questions about what we just what we spoke about? Okay. Next, we're going to talk about the in-person prospecting framework. What is it? And the author gives us 5 steps, and I think these are good. When we're talking to people, and in comparison, I'll use my doctor friend, and she admitted that at times she can be an introvert, and she admitted, and I didn't know her. I've known her for years, and she says public speaking is one of the things that she fears the most, and I was shocked because all her appointments are one-on-one counseling to one, and she does a fabulous job. But she admitted that speaking in front of people is not one of her strengths, and so that was one of the things that she didn't do well. Confidence. Approach with confidence. Even if you may not know the information as well as you think you do, still go out and approach with confidence, because that's the first thing that they're going to look at is, who is this person? And if you come with them um, as confident as you might be, even if you may not feel internally that you have as much information, and more often than not, you are fully equipped to answer most questions. All you have to do is put forth the effort. So, number one, approach with confidence. Number two, here we go. State who you are and why you are there. I'm Mr. Lester, and I'm a fantastic realtor, and I understand that you're in your line of work. You might have people that are coming in, that may come in contact with you, that may have housing needs, and I would like to be able to assist you for those individuals. Just state who you are. Don't try to do some back door or whatever. Just come out and just say exactly who you are. If they're gonna want to talk to you, they're gonna want to talk to you. If not, it's okay. Then when you are speaking with confidence and you're stating who you are, then you'll be able to gather information because they're going to say something. Whatever they say, they're going to state. And then whatever they state, as I said before, this is where you come in. You are the problem solver. Where you come in there and you state, okay, I'm Fabulous Lester. This is who your customers are. They have some housing needs, and this is what I can provide to assist you in dealing with your clients that may have some housing needs. And lastly, with whatever they say with the RBOs, that's when it's game on. And that's when you should be equipped to respond to any reflex responses, brush offs, or objections. Does all that make sense? Yes, no? Okay, I think so.
Yes, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Okay, all right. And that's really what the author was trying to talk about for in-person prospecting. So as I was thinking about this chapter, what I wanted to do, or what I did, I narrowed it down, boom, to just realtors. Who should realtors be in-person prospecting to? I mean, what type of businesses or whatever. So of course I used Miss Chatty, and she came up with some with a list of businesses we're all familiar with, but we may not have taken it into consideration. So what I'm going to do, I want to share my screen, and then you're going to see what she came up with. Okay. So this was my question, and I tweaked it any number of different times to be able to come up with this list. And they come up with different tiers. So this was my initial question. What businesses should a realtor target for in-person prospecting? And then it says, for in-person prospecting, a realtor should target businesses that either one, see people right before a move, serve homeowners with money and equity, have trusted relationships with your ideal clients, and work with people during major transitions. So we came up with this list, and I thought this was pretty unique. Some of the words I was like, oh, so the number one, this surprised me. Best businesses for a realtor to prospect in person. Number one, highest value referral partners and mortgage loan officers. I would always think that some loan officers, I'm just using me, we don't really get that many referrals per se. But then, like, no, that is not the case. It just depends on the type of buyers. Because for me, as all you know, 100% of my business, for the most part, is working with realtors. It is, and I do that intentionally. However, I do have occasionally, one or two times, three times a year, maybe, first time buyers who need an agent who they follow up with me based on any of my outreach activities. And then another one is move up buyers. This is where I'm spending a lot of time on. And the reason why I says, this could work because for move up buyers, it may take them 7 to 8 to 10 years, and it's not unheard of that the buyers, that the realtors they initially worked with are no longer in the business. They retired. Um, yeah, those are two main ones. They're no longer in the business or they retired. Those are the two main ones. While, in my perspective, why realtors are no longer working. I've seen that happen a lot more. And then the other ones is buyers relocating into the area. I don't get that much. However, the one from Saturday, I am going to refer to a realtor in the Houston area because I asked the question. So I am going to refer that individual to a realtor. Now, the one area that it has worked for another realtor, I'm licensed in Florida. I have made a good contact with a realtor in Florida that she and I we talk at least once a month. She used to live here in Maryland because the reason why I'm licensed in Florida because I'm following the money. A lot of I shouldn't say a lot, but there is quite a few of homeowners in Virginia that are relocating to Florida. And I have referred to her, my neighbor, and a couple of other people through my contacts. I've even referred to some of my existing clients that are interested in wanting to own a vacation home in Florida. So vacation homes, that is a good opportunity there. And yes, all of these clients they didn't really have a realtor. So I know some of you that are working for large companies, you might be able to refer a buyer to a realtor in another state and still get a referral fee. I am fully aware of that. And then the last item is clients where we're working to improve their credit scores, and this is very similar to first-time home buyers. So this is what was labeled as high-value referral partners. So we have mortgage loan officers and title settlement closing attorneys. I think all of you are aware of those, but the next three, four, and five are good. These are the ones if I would recommend anyone to do any prospecting to, is these three here, especially three and four. Divorce attorneys and family law attorneys. They're always in need of realtors, especially with divorce. Number three is a big one. So if you ever wanted to try and just try to make some contacts with attorneys, divorce attorneys, this is it. And then the other one, estate planning and probate attorneys. How many of you know of Joe Facenda? He is with Remax. Oh, well, he's been in the business a while. His whole business is contacting individuals whose loved ones just passed away.
I know
And
him. We used to work together.
oh, you know, okay, yeah. This is how he gets his business. His business is majority listings, and he gets his not so much from estate planning and probate, but from the death notices where he does the research and when people pass away. That's his business. You may not feel that, oh my goodness, I could do that, call people that, but that's what he does. And then the last item, of course, financial advisors and CPAs. I was referred to a financial advisor. She's taken over his practice. So now she and we're doing some work together where I'm assisting her and her clients because she's a little nervous at first. So I went in there and so I was sharing information with her in terms of how she can be a benefit to some of her clients. And the firm that she's in, she's in the process of buying it out. So and that was a referral for me going and talking with her. So these top five I think are good. But 3 and 4 and 5 are very good. And then that's just tier 1. Tier 2, uh, great local move trigger businesses, senior living communities, always. And it's not so much the downsizing specialist. I thought this was a good one because what happens in senior living communities? Death. I had a good friend of mine. He moved into an over 55 community. He loved it. And after being there for 5 years, he came out and it said, I love my community, but one of the things that I don't like is the constant reminder of people dying. Because people, after they move in a short period of time, people are dying more. And so he's lot of his friends are dying off. It's just part of the process of living in a senior community where death is there. And whenever there is death for an over 55 community, there is a need to sell that property. And assisted living home care agencies, that's a that could be one. Um, this right here for me would be tough, but number 6, I could definitely do. Moving companies. For those of you that are members of the Northern Virginia Association of Realtors, NVAR, which moving company do you always see out? You see her all the time.
Interstate.
Interstate. That's what with her. She's out. That's their motto is they're always pay a lot of money in marketing, but she's everywhere. She was at the event on Thursday. So she is awesome. So moving companies are great individuals. Storage facilities, absolutely. Home stagers. And then 3 service businesses that touch homeowners constantly. Painters, great people to know. And these are all flooring companies, roofers, general contractors, landscapers, and these are all individuals that will know of people that are in the process of either fixing up or in the process of moving out for whatever reasons that they'll know that they're planning on moving before they contact any realtor. And then community-based businesses for sphere and visibility, of course, coffee shops. This is a good one, gym and fitness facilities. And if you want luxury clients, depending upon these, this is excellent because they will know because the owner will tell you that this person has talked about moving, etc. And of course, you have the barbershops, church, a church if you're a member of one, a daycare centers. And then this is just itemize it out. And this is the top 10 businesses. So, my question for you, is this helpful? These are all for in-person prospecting. If you want to try and go see people in person, these are individuals, businesses that can help you. Sound good?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to try that, that is good. Okay. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to take just a couple of minutes more. I'm going to present this to you, but I'm going to spend more time next week in going over it. Because we have 6 weeks remaining and we want to finish strong, I came up with some questions that I would like for us to spend some time next week. So I came up with these questions. 3 questions to unlock realtor growth. And it's just a simple question. What support would make the biggest difference in growing your business right now? That's for your business. What obstacle do you need to overcome to grow as a realtor? That's just for realtor. And the third one, what personal habit, mindset, or support would help you grow stronger as an individual. So, 3 different ways of growing from business to realtor and personal, that for us to be mindful of, you know, what can in the next, after this week we'll have 5 weeks, what would make a difference for you? What resources could be made available to help you answer these 3 questions? That's what I would like to do. Find out what can be done for us to continue to grow and improve. Any comments, questions, recommendations, anything? None? Today you guys are all quiet, which is good. So hopefully that's a positive sign. Okay. If there are none, then I'm going to forward that handout to you. I'll remind you with these 3 questions for this week. Continue to prospect. Um, try to ask some unique questions. If you're going out in person or if you need any assistance, just let me know. But most of all, be intentional and be yourself. And you guys are going to do awesome. Okay, we're done for the word. We are done. So I'll see each of you next week, and the countdown will continue and making certain that we finish strong. Thank you both. Thank you all.
Thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
All right.